Hello and welcome to day two of the biggest conference in the world ever, which I realized when I said that yesterday, I excluded the term testing and QA. So we're starting a bit earlier. And the reason we're starting a bit earlier is to do some housekeeping. So hopefully that will help with everything that's going on and give you guys the kind of the support that you need to actually enjoy the most out of this event. Okay, fantastic. So let's get on with the housekeeping. And I'll start off with Slido. So actually, it's quite exciting. We're going to be using Slido today for the actual test factor segment. So we're going to do live polls, which means you'll get to vote on your favorite person who will be, like we'll be mentioning the segment when we start it off, who will be up to win a to be mentored by either myself, Paul, or Giles. They get to choose who that is. So it's really important that you vote, and we get people make the most out of using Slido. So again, literally all you need to do is go to sli.do and then type in the code TF21. We will make sure that it's shared on your on the chat. So if you do forget, it's there. And the same for all of our Bitly links. They start off bit.ly/ and then testing festival and then whatever we're trying to communicate. So in this case, Slido, and that'll take you straight to it. So if you just keep those up open on in your browser, then you'll be part of the fun and you'll be able to ask questions. So the next thing is what you will find today when we go live is that there will be a replacement from the X Factor booth, which we had yesterday, which was for candidates to actually register onto this segment, which we've had 3 registrations who are going to take part in today's live segment. So that will now be replaced with the QA Lead. So that's the QAlead.com podcast series, which I'm currently the host of. There'll be a booth there for you to interact with, and if you're interested in joining the QA Lead community, then you'll be able to click on that. So that will be available at 5 o'clock, so or it's 4:30 today when we open up the session. So visit the vendors and also remember to chat to people. There was a lot of people in there yesterday, and a lot of people were running around. Probably, we had some great submissions for the awards. But yeah, just make sure you come off mic at least, so you can just interact and chat to people, because otherwise they come chasing after you, and it's part of that community aspect that we really want to do. And tonight, actually, so we're going to mix things up, make sure people are on their toes. I'm going to make sure I do some costume change, but I'll make sure that I'm in some beach wear or something like that, so that we can do the prizes today with the vendors in a bit of a larger space, which will be the beach, which literally, if you come out of the main vendor locations, you just go all the way down to the bottom and there'll be a picture that says outside. So I look forward to seeing you chilling out on the beach for tonight's party / prize giveaway. So the last one, and I think this is a big one for everybody really, is the support side of things. I know there was a lot of challenges yesterday with us breaking the internet, and also just GoToWebinar not being able to support the amount of people. So again, if you're having difficulties and you need support, then yeah, go to Testing Festival Slack, and then we will be able to sort you out the best we possibly can. So I've got a little bit more time before I go into the bit of opening. So what I wanted to do is just do a bit of a reboot. So I wanted to I know everybody else is doing a remake of something, so I thought I'd reboot for those people who wasn't able to stay awake long enough for the end of day yesterday. Obviously, they may have not realized if they've won a prize. So I just wanted to quickly go through that and give you some details. But first of all, I wanted to do a big announcement, which I think is great, that obviously you guys are turning up now, and we're going to be going, live, I suppose, at on the hour. But we managed to get to the 20,000 mark of delegates yesterday, which I'm going to leave on and kind of bring in Paul to kind of say a few words and kind of just a bit of lessons that we kind of learned from yesterday, really. So, Paul, do you want to come off camera and join me? Hello. Oh, you're on mute, which is the 2021 most said word ever, which I promised myself I wouldn't say.
Sorry, I was on mute. I thought the day went remarkably well, in spite of the technical difficulties we had, and our double act as a keynote was kind of, it went reasonably well, although my watch did actually stop at 1:45, and for 10 minutes I thought I got plenty of time, and then suddenly I looked at the clock on the computer and, oh my God, that was it, my time was up. So many apologies for that. That's a lesson learned. And the other thing is, I don't know whether the panel sessions where we couldn't show our faces was a bad thing, to be honest, because it felt really good, to be quite frank. I think the first one we were getting the hang of it, and the second one, the last one where there were 6 of us on it, I thought it was a really interesting conversation. The questions were great and they were really varied, and I hope you got something out of it, whatever part or whole you saw of it yesterday.
No, absolutely. And I spent the morning.
I can talk all day for England, as you know, Jonathan. So I'll hand over to you again.
Oh no, we'll keep the banter going until on the top of the hour, just to let people come in. But yeah, so I did edit the video from yesterday, so obviously to get the on-demand content coming through, and the panel discussions were really good, and also the cameras did show up, which was good. So yeah, to make sure we keep our cameras on for today as well. But yeah, I did actually zoom into your watch and it had broken. So, you know, we do have proof, and it is, you know, it is legitimate. So, and also because of kind of the clicking catastrophe, should we call it, yesterday, I decided that today I'm going to do my keynote as well live, and I may even send you some slides just so that I can keep on saying, Paul, can you click forwards, please, for me? You there, Paul?
Waving my hand. Jonathan, JW, where are you?
Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, we had some real fun yesterday with, you know, some of the technical challenges of what we had. You know, we've been kind of overwhelmed by the amount of people who, you know, have taken their time out to make, you know, this event what it is, right? And you know, again, while I was doing this morning, you know, we hit just over 20,000 people at the start of today. And I just think, you know, it's a spectacular achievement. And, you know, I think, you know, it's great for you guys to be here. And it's also great to make history, right? That we've started the first of the festival series off. So, you know, I know we've got 2 minutes left, and I just wanted to say a few thanks as well before I kick Paul for a second. So we do have some of the candidates who came in literally from, who signed up on the in Gather yesterday and have joined us today. So I'll be introducing those guys to the segment in 15 minutes. So we've got Dr. Jason Lee, who's already joined, and I think it is, do you want to pronounce that one, Paul? Because my I literally can't see it from this range.
Mahima Afzal.
Mahima, okay.
I'm sure I've said that wrong.
Okay, yeah, so that's great, and so we will be introducing those guys later on, and we also just want to say a massive thank you as well to Chris Trimper, who's standing in. He's actually Giles Lindsay's stunt double, so you know, Giles has to payroll him for kind of going and doing stunts, you know, jumping out of planes or helicopters or whatever it may be. Unfortunately, again, Giles can't be here today with us due to health reasons, and so the show must go on, but we obviously are missing him and look forward to the continuation of the festival series with him included. So, Paul, we got 30 seconds. Do you want to say anything else before we kick off and we start moving in?
Well, break a leg and have a good day.
I don't know whether or not that is great advice with the amount of injuries and health-related problems that we've had during this
It has been a
episode.
challenge.
I would take a sub one that I sent over to Paul, which was somebody who said they literally couldn't make it because their father wasn't very well yesterday, and we had so many people who were genuinely sorry that they got to miss day one because it was just such a fantastic experience. So thanks, Paul. We were pulling you back in with the contestants in 15 minutes. I'm just going to do a few slides now, and then we will continue into our first segment of the day, which is the test factor. So let me kind of kick off with some information. So first of all, we couldn't have made this possible without you guys, right? And part of it is we've had, like I said, 20,000 plus people across the world who've come in, and we ran an event in February called Agile Festival, which was for the signing of the manifesto, and we were blown away just by the sheer amount of people who actually joined us on that event as well. And I did the same thing, which was I put together a collage of people who joined from different parts of the world. And it's the same now. We saw from the award winners, right, yesterday, they came from every reach of the entire country. So I wanted to give the delegates a bit of insight into where people have come from today, where people have registered from. You may or may not be surprised that the UK was #1 for biggest attendance numbers. So congratulations to those guys. And then India, United States, Pakistan, Singapore, Ireland, Australia, Canada, Germany, Netherlands, UAE, Belgium, Indonesia, Mexico, Sweden. We could go on for all day, but I'm not. We've got an amazing turnout, and I'm so pleased that we got so many countries represented as well. I did create a visualization using Power BI this morning, but then I gave up because it was spinning around and doing too much stuff. But we just had people come. We've had people come in from every country. So if you are from one of those locations and you want to say hello and stuff like that, feel free. Add us onto LinkedIn. Let's keep the conversation going, which I'm going to give you a bit of explanation about how you can make that possible. And also, at the start, there was a lot of questions about, well, what is it? What kind of jobs and what kind of people are we aiming this for? Because it was aimed at a leadership kind of position. Well, quality assurance, testing and leadership was kind of I know Paul will tell me off the same theme, but we wanted to try and offer it and position it in there. And of course, I know for some of us, testing and QA being, slightly different things, which I'm not going to bring up, but, we had an amazing representation. And this, again, is thanks to Power BI, of just the amount of people who were QA managers or test managers or quality assurance, senior quality assurance people. So great turnout from everybody. And also, we had some great industries. We're always going to get financial services being the big one, right? But manufacturing, education, retail, telcos, healthcare, energy, government, transportation, media, entertainment, great representation from so many different segments and industries. So it's great that we're bringing this wealth of knowledge to it and share between each other. And then again, companies, of course, there's some great global solution integrators in there. There's some, classic IBM, Microsoft, Amazons, the big giant organizations. And then your Maersk's and HSBC, JP Morgan, Legal & General. The list could just go on and on and on. There's so many companies in there. I think 2,600 companies are represented at this event. So just truly outstanding. And so we've said yesterday, and I wanted to bring this back up because obviously for some of you, you weren't here for, I'll call it selling sunsets, but the end of the event yesterday. So I just, wanted to say, thank you from the vendors, but who made this possible, and the sponsors, but also for those people who didn't win prizes or didn't realize they'd won a prize. I want to just flick through the prizes from yesterday. Of course, we set up this kind of segment which said, go onto Twitter, hashtag TF21, and tag us in it, and we'll go for the best selfies. Now we can see Kevin slightly struggled there with including in the backdrop some evidence of the actual event. So as you can see here, you can see my Slido, chatting to people and also gather. That's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for those ones that have done it. And there was 2 great examples that will be getting prizes sent to them, an Amazon voucher, as well as 12 months free access to QA Lead membership. So again, let's see if we can get some more in today. Let's keep the momentum going on social media and try and win some of those great prizes. And again, there was some prizes, some additional prizes that were given out. And like I mentioned, there was people from Eastern Europe, East and West Europe. We had someone from the Philippines who won, and the US. We will be reaching out to you about those prizes for day 1. We've got more prizes today. Of course, you've got to be in it to win it. So you've got to go back in. Even if you voted yesterday, we need you to go back in again and make those submission counts, because there's some amazing gifts. We've got people like Aptly Tools, we've got a Nintendo Switch, we've got books, we've got Amazon vouchers, we've got a Raspberry Pi from Curiosity. So just get in there when the booths open and get your submissions in, because there's some great gifts, prizes coming out tonight. And then again, like I mentioned, let's keep the comms going. Let's be part of the conversation. Get onto social media. Tag the QAlead.com. The QA Lead in. Tag us in. Just use the hashtag TF21. Doesn't matter if you're on Instagram. I'm not going to use the word TikTok because only Paul has a TikTok account. And then Test Festival. So get those tags in. Be part of the conversation. And really make, tell us what's going, what you enjoyed, what quotes you like, because we're going to keep this conversation on, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. And also, ask questions, right? I mentioned Slido at the start. We're going to be using it for the polls for these segments. So ask your question. Yesterday Nick will be winning a prize for the best liked. So like your favorite questions as well. Ironically, Nick's question didn't get asked, but we ran out of time, but we'll make sure that there's either a blog or something that comes out of the back of this that covers that. And then Mike had a great question around being an introvert from Neil, which again was a fantastic one. So some more Amazon vouchers going for you guys. So be active, social media, plus go and visit the vendor booths, and you're in it to win it. So I know we've got a segment coming up in 7 minutes, which is a completely kind of experimental format. And, I kind of wanted to follow in the great Paul Gerard's footsteps and talk about Twitter and, messages that we've had about the event. And I thought, actually, I'm not going to, but what I am going to do is just talk a little bit about the mission statement and why we put the structure together like we have, right? The first item was we wanted to encourage, nurture and promote new and diverse talent in our industry. This was something we've always been at the heart of everything that we've done, and this was a quote from Paul. And part of that was we wanted to be able to provide you with the biggest names, right? Day 1 was about get those rock stars, get those superstars that are just smashing it in the industry, and get them to share their wisdom, right? That was kind of day 1's format. And then day 2 was let's take the tooling and technology and by the reins a little bit and see what automation and performance, security, whatever it may be that you do in your job, how those tools can help, right? And so we've got some of the best talent there who are going to be talking about continuous testing, about how you can enable this stuff. It's not demo tool sales stuff. It is genuine thought leadership in the space. So I'm really excited about this kind of toolsmith kind of track today. And then of course we wanted this to go by the foundations of this encouraging and nurturing aspect. We wanted to do 2 segments. We wanted to get a segment where we could bring in new talent that would be the speakers of tomorrow. So we did this for another conference, and I know Lavina spoke in day 1. But Lavina, I think, was the first time or the second time she'd spoken, and now she's speaking at 3 of the major headlining events. So part of it, she as she kind of said on the leadership chat yesterday, she started off and she kind of just tested herself, tried to get give herself another challenge, and now she's got that confidence that she's happy to have conversations in the leadership. So we wanted to throw people in there who maybe wanted to sink or swim, but also give them a chance to get up and get into the limelight. And then the second thing is we wanted to also allow us to support diverse talent, people that maybe are unrepresented. So when we say that, it's things like young professionals, the age group 18 to 25. How do we get people up there who are the next generation, right? And so, it's those segments that we're trying to cover. And then obviously things like neurodiversity and all sorts of other areas that we wanted to bring in. So we've also created another segment later on, which is called The Voice. And that is with people who have got talents. And, we want them to, step up and take it to the next level, right? So we got quite senior people coming to the Voice event later on. We got some amazing new talent for you in the test segment this morning, who are, I think most of them are online now, so it's really great to have them. But I think that's kind of what there was a lot of people asking me questions yesterday, and that's why I'm going to spend the next 4 minutes just flicking through this content to say, well, you attended today, right? You attended yesterday, and you've shared your experiences, you've asked questions, you've had the speakers there. We wanted to allow people get a flexible enough format that allowed everyone to join the first, all the conference stuff. And then we wanted to also offer workshops, right? And most events will run workshops, but they're much smaller, right? They're much smaller groups. We're not going to have the 3,000 people on the live stream we did yesterday. We want small teams which you can go ask questions, spend a full day getting trained up. So we are running workshops, right? Paul will be running a workshop tomorrow, so will Mike, Phil, and Jennifer, right? So if you've not signed up for a workshop, you still can. All you need to do is visit testingfestival.com and then sign up for one. So, we're doing a special offer at the moment. I think it's like $99, which is half price. It's definitely worth checking out, and it's going to help boost your career. And it's the idea there is it's going to be much smaller, more intimate, more interaction, more questions, more you talking to us, to really think about that. And so why did we do this? Well, part of it is that it was this kind of idea of collaboration, and I've been doing the podcast, which just hit 50 episodes, right, on the QAlead.com. And they kind of said, well, what we really want to do is we want to offer a community and to our users so that they can, exchange ideas, a bit like Slack, have chats, a forum to ask questions. So we said, oh yeah, we're happy to support that. And of course, as people will know from, I'm the president of the largest independent software community, Vivit, vivit-worldwide.org. And so, of course, we've, pre-GDPR, we had 80,000 users in 190 countries. It was a very large community, but we also know that testing is quite specialized. So, part of it was let's support and nurture that community and also provide things like mentorship, which, like we said, is one of the items that we're doing as part of the segment. So both segments, the winner, or who you vote for, not us, will be offered mentorship and get to pick a judge, and we'll put time every week in our calendars to really help support you on where you want your career to go. So connect with the experts, was one of the things. Grow as a leader, get some of those leadership skills, which we tried to include in the first half of the yesterday segment. Second half of the segment was leadership. The morning was around testing, right? So, we want you to grow as a leader. So if you are trying to understand, well, what is the next stage, then this is for you. And then also, like what the platform you've got now, it starts with a question, right? And there was thousands of questions that came in yesterday, and we're going to use those questions that didn't get answered. We're going to put them onto this forum, and everyone can, will give answers, will give advice, and it will be one of those kind of places of knowledge which you can share and challenge and learn about, some of those answers that maybe the experts didn't have time to answer yesterday. So boost your career, think about that, go and visit the booth, which will be available for the QA Lead, and register your interest if you are interested. and let's help support and grow your career.